found him. Hi, my name is Hiro. I'm a medieval historian, and I'm currently traveling the world with my partner. Here's how we enjoyed the adventure tourism and cultural history of Thailand. Our bus dropped us off like really far from where we thought it was going to. Not crazy far, not insurmountably far, but farther than I wanted to go. We obtained snacks from the 7-Eleven, which is incredible. So many different noodles and stuff to choose from. Now we're continuing the very long walk to our hostel. It was 1.5 kilometers roughly from the 7-Eleven, and we started walking maybe half a kilometer before then. Indian food has kind of become our tradition as our first meal in new countries. It definitely has a post-travel healing effect. And of course, our mission for our first day in Thailand after the cold European cities was indeed to hit the beach. That was incredible.
Good. Rejuvenating.
It's so warm.
It's crazy. Isn't it? Oops. So I could just get the whole snack haul.
7-Eleven haul.
Thai 7-Eleven was very fun, and we enjoyed some tasty post-beach snacks. This barbecue salmon onigiri was my favorite.
Oh my god.
I've never been snorkeling before, and it turns out snorkeling is awesome.
Say hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey.
I bought this goofy waterproof phone container, which was so goofy and also so worth it. I got a ton of photos and videos of cool rocks and fish underwater, which I will show you. This was a tour with an excursion company that I booked through Airbnb just because I wasn't sure what it was like to book an excursion in Thailand. Turns out it's super easy, and you can be way more spontaneous just booking tours off the street. In any case, I'm glad we did it this way. Casey and I definitely tend to be more off the beaten path types of travelers. We tend to budget, but has really established tourism infrastructure, so we took advantage of that. I've seen, like, especially on Reddit and Instagram, so, you know, cesspools, a lot of people who are worried about doing the touristy things or scorn people who do tours and whatnot, which is so silly to me because if you're visiting a place, you are a tourist. So we wore our dorky sun hats and put on not enough sunscreen and booked tours, and it was awesome. also booked us a bougie-ass massage, which are fairly affordable for the US dollar in Phuket. How do you feel after that massage?
Amazing. Absolutely.
I don't think I have bones anymore. We finally had our first nice sit-down Thai meal in Thailand, complete with mango sticky rice.
Again, I don't think riding a scooter would be that bad.
Yeah. The next day we planned on visiting a temple and grabbing some lunch at a little hole in the wall, but just saw Casey and his Grab driver scooter past. And they did not stop at the stop that I thought they would stop at, so I'm just going in the same general direction that they did to try and find them. I've got no cell service, and my boyfriend was dropped off somewhere that way. Yeah. No luck there, so I walked all the way back to the restaurant. Let's hope that he remembers that I share my location with him. I found him. Trying to decide if that's soup or if it's something you pour on top of this. It's soup. So we decided to go to Wat Phra Nang Song Temple, a beautiful structure primarily painted wood and concrete, with the extant parts built around 100 to 200 years ago. The English historiography of this temple and its founders is hazy, but I'll summarize the best I can. A beautiful, virtuous woman known as Phra Nang Khao, or Lady Whiteblood, was queen and head mother to King Dharma Sokarat. Lady Whiteblood was found by her foster parents and 2 elephants inside a shoot of bamboo, and her brother was found inside another. The 2 married and went on to establish gold and gem-encrusted Buddha images in Buddhist temples all throughout the world. In our main manuscript source for this, Lady Whiteblood is ordered to attend to a king, not her husband, but her unborn child's powers prevent any forced consummation, and Lady Whiteblood is released to her husband where they live happily ever after. In Phuket, there's a different regional legend. Lady Whiteblood is instead a queen consort of a city lord and is falsely accused of infidelity by a jealous minister. Despite her adamant denial, she's sentenced to death by her lord, and she begs to be allowed to go pay homage to the relics of Lord Buddha before her death, a request that was granted. She stopped at a place in Koh Thalang where she buried valuable Buddhist items and planted paduk and taikon trees, which would later make the basis for Wat Taikon Temple, later renamed to Wat Phra Nang Song. The temple was beautiful, and we had a great time admiring the colors and trying to make out the specific symbols and animals depicted. Hi, little guy. He's cute. Our hostel host was excited that we were excited about Thai history and culture, so he actually recommended a local temple fair to us at Wat Thep Kasattri Temple, also called Bandon Temple. Not certain what the holiday entails, but someone told us that it was Māgha Busha Day, a celebration of Buddhist teachings and an observation of Buddhist ethics. Part of the celebrating, however, includes donating to the temple for its upkeep and for monks' meals. So if you attend one of these festivals, I highly encourage you to do that. The equivalent of $10 US means way more for folks hosting this festival than it does for you, I promise. All right, back in. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna eat. Got some chicken stuff and 2 frozen Thai teas. All right, Casey Brown, go for it. It's kind of like
Sweet and creamy.
Sweet and creamy. It's interesting, but it's quite good. Casey got some with like a dark colored, kind of molassesy looking sauce. I think those are the best ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also these little custards. That was awesome.
Oh.
That's so cool.
That was really cool. It's not this way.
Oh. you excited?
I'm very excited.
And there's their star. Oh, how exciting.
2025.
This was one of the best things we had on our entire trip. We ordered the crab krathong thong on recommendation of our waitress, Lily. It was crab, fermented beetroot, carrots, turnips, cucumbers, mashed together in this little wafer cup, topped with ginger and caviar. This is so fancy! Tangy and bitter and a little tingly, like there's some sort of spice there.
It coats
Sweet.
your whole mouth.
It does coat your whole mouth. It really fills your mouth, even just taking a little bite. The salt's really nice. The salt really balances everything out. And the texture's awesome.
You don't really even have to chew, you just kind of like rub it around in there.
Yeah.
It melts in your mouth, you might say.
Jaras has a mission of sustainability, which they do a really excellent job of displaying. Recycled materials include the menu, the placemats, the plates, basically anything you use to interact with your meal. Their foods focus on invasive species, in-season produce, and ethical farming practices. Everything we had was directly farm to table, including the coffee.
This is a Thailand-sourced coffee.
Farm
to table,
table.
basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have to taste it. Clear, it's earthy, it's like kind of chocolatey and kind of caramely at the same time. It's almost like a chocolate liqueur flavor.
Where does that rank in your coffees of all time?
That's really high.
Top 10?
It's got to be top 10 for sure. Yeah, I can smell it from here.
My curry was everything I look for in a yellow curry and then some. Sweet, creamy, just a little spicy, and very rich. The sea bass was cooked to perfection and fell apart in my mouth, and the lotus root had a slightly crunchy, slightly chewy texture that just really soaked up all of the curry flavors. It was warm, comforting, and hearty.
Unlike similar places which serve a twist on pad thai, this one had traditional flavors delivered at their best. Packed with fish and a sweet and spicy sauce, every bite was a little bit different and absolutely full of flavor.
Needless to say, we cleared our plates. Got 2 desserts. The sago was interesting and had some awesome chewy, creamy textures. It kind of reminded me of boba. The flavor was rich and chocolatey and while delicious, it didn't really stand out for me. The mango sticky rice, on the other hand, was a clear star. The sweet rice had a great chew to it, and the mango was juicy and just the perfect texture. The coconut ice cream brought out some much-needed brightness to the dessert, and we basically did everything except lick our plate clean. I didn't take footage of this, but our waitress Lily saw how interested we were in their sustainability mission, so she gave us a little tour of their pickling storage area and let us in on some of the farming practices Jara does to keep things eco-friendly. They compost all of their kitchen scraps and directly farm new ingredients with that compost. They also pickle in-season ingredients so they can be used throughout the year. Really cool stuff. I definitely recommend Jaras. Our 2025 Michelin star lunch cost us around 2,850 baht, which at the time was going on about $80. We also tipped about 100 baht to our 2 waitresses, and our Grab taxi there was about $8, 10 with a tip. So we spent just about $100 on what was probably one of the best meals of my life, and for a 2.5-hour dining experience. Not as fancy as Jaras, but this roadside place had great rice plates that we spent about $5 on. We got a private car transfer from Phuket to Krabi. We met a guy who ran a taxi company, and he charged us basically the same price for taking a speedboat over from the harbor. And this car was far more convenient. I was still fighting for my life, though. I hate car rides. Krabi is, it's cool. Like, that's going to be obvious. It was super cool and beautiful. But I see people online touting it as, like, the non-touristy option for Thailand travel. And that's simply not the case. It was just as popping and touristed as Phuket, just with fewer vacation condos. While in Krabi, I bought a full-day rock climbing excursion because saying I've climbed in Raleigh Beach is definitely a bucket list item. The guys at King Climbing were great, very chill and good coaches. People were shook that I was climbing the full day and not just a half day, but like in a good way. I was definitely gassed by the end of the day, but it was so worth it. I met some dope people and became quick friends before saying goodbye, just as you do while traveling. Also, I saw a monkey. They gave me lunch.
Round 2.
And here's what I was talking about with the goat cheek. It was a little jarring at first because I wasn't expecting it, but the guys belaying know the routes with their eyes closed, so it was quite helpful at times. Besides the climbing, which was dope, the scenery was stunning, just aqua blue oceans and vibrant green limestone mountains, even right on the busy beach. I got back to our hostel, all of my adrenaline and dopamine left me, and I was ravenous, so we did in fact go to the American-style burger joint across the street, where I devoured some fries and patties.
Plain Everclear in the burger store. This is some California shit.
I must have pushed it too hard though, because like 2 hours later I was super feverish and crazy sore. I'd booked us a kayaking excursion, but I stayed at the hostel while Casey went out alone.
Yesterday was so much fun. I think I girl bossed a little too close to the sun. I hope Casey's having fun.
Our guide took us in a bus from Krabi to Ao Thalane, where we launched our kayaks. We had a small group from Hong Kong and the Netherlands, and a funny guide who took us to a sandbar, where we learned a little bit about the locally famous blue crabs. As the tide came up, we scrambled to keep our kayaks from floating away. We had a picnic in a small alcove that occasionally gets raided by monkeys. We didn't see any of the monkeys there, but we tried some local coconut and rice desserts that I forgot to take a picture of. That being said, I did make a monkey friend when we entered the mangrove forest tucked away between two massive limestone islands. The mangroves were as far as the eye could see, and our journey took us between tightly packed trees and rocks. It was an amazing adventure. I've been kayaking before, but I had never done anything quite like that.
Before we knew it, we were drinking our last Thai tea and packing our bags for the next part of our journey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Bed dress.
My ass!